What's going on, guys? It's QuazyDog here, and in today's video, we're going to be taking a look at this guy right here. Now, this is the TP-Link AX6600, or also known as the Archer GX90, and we're going to see if this is a worthy successor to my longtime favorite, Archer 5400X. All that and more right after a word from today's video sponsor. If you guys are like me and want to get started in improving your personal finances this year, I have two great application recommendations for you. The first is simple. It's a commission-free trading application based in Canada where you can get started for as little as $1. The second is Shakepay. Shakepay is based in Montreal, Canada, and all you have to do is open the application, literally just shake your phone, and start earning up to $41 in free cryptocurrency every single month. Links for both applications are in the video description below. All right, so welcome back everyone, and again, we will be taking a look at the Archer GX90 in today's video. Now, truthfully, there's not gonna be a lot of testing in this video. I will have a follow-up in the future, but my whole house hinges off internet connectivity, and literally there is nobody home right now but me. So we're rolling a camera, we're gonna unbox this guy, and I'm gonna bring you guys along on the ride in like the setup process. We're gonna see exactly how easy this is to get it up and running. But before we do that, we're gonna take a very quick look at some of the stats or some of the specs of this router to see exactly what makes it so special. So on the front of the box, it does go over the fact that it has a 6.6 gigabit per second warp speed throughput. That of course is across all of the three frequencies, or the tri-band experience. Don't expect those speeds from a single band, of course. 3 to 4 bedroom house coverage, game accelerator. So this is kind of cool. Game accelerator essentially has the ability to check some of the top games, Battlefield, Call of Duty, League, GTA, a couple of others, and really optimize the traffic. There's a second piece to this as well. They recently have added support with QoS for online streaming services like NVIDIA Now. So this is an NVIDIA Now certified router. And that's really interesting, just like as a side note, because with online game streaming, it's not like Netflix where it can predict the frames that are going to happen in the future and kind of pre-buffer those. And when I've been playing either NVIDIA Now or Google Stadia, I've noticed that if there's like a little tiny bit of a hiccup, you really feel it and you really see it because there's no predictive frames in an online experience. So really cool that they're jumping kind of ahead of the game and offering support for something like that. It's all run, of course, by a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core CPU, and then it does have a singular 2.5 gigabit per second Ethernet port on the back. There are other gigabit ports, of course, and we're gonna see that when we unbox this, but the C5400X that I have, it used something called, I think, link aggregation, if I remember correctly, and there was 2 Ethernet ports that would work in tandem, so you had to plug into both of them, and you had to have also supported hardware on the other side that use link aggregation, and that would give you up to 2 gigabits per second. This will actually do up to 2.5 in a single network output, so that's really, really cool. The biggest thing for me is, of course, you're gonna see right on the bottom of the box, this is a Wi-Fi 6 certified device. And now that we're into 2020, we saw this starting in mid to late 2020, we're into 2021. Wi-Fi 6 is becoming more and more important. There are smartphones, gaming consoles, tons of laptops, and just mobile devices, and hopefully soon in the next coming couple of releases in Q1, 2, 3, and 4 of 2021, maybe even some smart TVs that have Wi-Fi 6. And the importance of that is just faster speeds, so faster delivery. You're also going to have less congestion via Wi-Fi 6 because not every technology is on it. If you've got the not so techie neighbors, they're not going to be clogging up your frequencies. So that's super cool as well. Wi-Fi 6 is amazing, and I've been waiting to try it. I've tried it in mesh and it was okay, but the idea of mesh is a little bit different than a standardized router. So really excited to see if the GX90 helps my PS5 perform and my phone perform. And we're gonna do some testing on that in another video once I've spent a little bit more time with it. Looking at the back here, we could see a little infographic about exactly how it gets all of those speeds, that 6.6 gigabits per second. And the first part of that is your gaming optimized 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi 6 frequency, and that will pull up to 4.8 gigabits per second. We have your standardized 5 gigahertz, which will do 1.2. And then lastly, we have your 2.4 gigahertz band that will also do up to 574 megabits per second. This is 8 simultaneous streams. It operates on HD160, which I'm gonna put some annotations below to kind of further explain what some of these mean. And then it does have 1024 QAM or QAM. Aside from that, it's talking about your game accelerator here as well with some of those titles that I mentioned before. Battle-tested hardware, so a lot of really good stuff. We talked about the 2.5 gigabit per second port. It's got USB 3.0s, USB 2.0s, your 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor that is going to run this whole thing. As far as keep elements secure, we've seen this before and it actually works pretty well. It has built-in security and firewall support through HomeCare, and it's also featuring WPA3 as far as network security. Lastly, the little square over here, I don't have the means to test that just yet, but I think it's interesting that it's getting ahead of the curve. So this actually has a supported companion device that will actually change this into a mesh Wi-Fi network. So instead of having like a traditional repeater where you're going to leave this connection and connect to a completely independent SSID and potentially have handoff issues, mesh Wi-Fi is going to blanket your whole home. So you're going to have a seamless connection from the GX90 over to that mesh node. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and let's get into this guy. What side are we gonna open up first? Let's do both of them and pull this guy right out. Now, presentation is super cool. I mean, I'm not like totally 100% behind like all of the gaming oriented hype that brands are like constantly doing. I get it, there's a point to it, or like there's an extent that you can go to, but I have to say, like, the presentation towards gamers, it's always so clean and crisp, and it's kind of cool. So let's open this up. We are greeted first with your installation guide. Whoa, okay. I'm gonna hide behind this flap. Let the games begin. So this is like more than just a standard box. This is like a whole cool presentation. So here, it's got kind of a little infographic as well with all the different things that it has the ability to do. Open Sesame, unbox your new gear. It all comes together, install tether, beam me up, connect to the internet, turbo mode activated, turn on the game accelerator. Do you feel lucky? Turn on game protector, and everything unlocked. Complete all the previous steps. So that is pretty cool. So we're gonna take that guy off, and here is the main component. So this is the GX90 all wrapped up. And this looks like almost identical to like the C5400X, to the AX1100, the last couple of generations. You have kind of all of your different little nodes here where you're going to connect your antennas. We have your Ethernet ports. Now, I do believe the 5400X might have had 8 Ethernet. This one just has your 4, and then it has your WAN in as well. Power button, power inlet. You've got your USB 2 and 3 on the side here as well. But overall, I mean, it's a cool looking router. It's not as spacey as like some of the other ones that I've seen. It's definitely, and you guys will probably agree if you didn't realize what was on the front of the box, once we get this built, you'll agree that it's definitely got that gamer aesthetic, which I think you're either going to love or you're going to hate. It kind of screams black and red. Here are all of the, oh, I can take that whole piece out. Wow, okay. So here are all of the antennas. And there are a lot of them. So let's just start getting these guys out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 antennas, and like I said, it's very like gamer focused as far as the color scheme is concerned. Now these aren't like screw in or anything, they just push in with a little bit of elbow grease. There we go. 1, 2, 3, and I'm sure you guys don't need me to count out loud. This isn't Sesame Street. So we're gonna get the rest of these put on, and you can already see the gamer aesthetic unfolding with the internet spider of doom. We could almost put it like this, and it reminds me of, do you guys remember the Wild Wild West with Will Smith, and they had that big mechanized spider? If that spider was built in 2021, I think it would look like the GX90 by TP-Link. But overall, I mean, I'm not hiding the gamer aesthetic behind me, so it's kind of filling my niche as far as the looks department's concerned. And then in here, we have your power adapter, I would assume. Yeah. So power adapter, I am hoping that we get super lucky and that this isn't a different power adapter than what the C5400X was, because I've got everything cable managed behind me. Side note, TP-Link, why? Listen, you've got black felt, you've got red packaging, everything is gloss, everything is beautiful, your aesthetic is flowing through everything that you've done with this color scheme, and you were so true to yourself until you gave me a white Ethernet cord. You're killing me. Why? Why? I don't even think color costs more. Put a black one in the package. You were so close. I mean, it's really not a big deal. You don't see the cables, but I just think that's kind of a really almost laughable oversight that is a white Ethernet cable. What kind of cable is it? Probably a 5E? Yeah, so it's Cat 5E that they give you, probably a 3 or 6 foot. We're gonna put all this stuff back together here. I'm gonna leave the power adapter out because I think I might maybe need that. And y'all know that we don't ever care about this stuff. We never use the install guide. So what we're gonna do is let's switch gears, let's change angles. We're gonna go and actually plug this all in over where my other router is. We're gonna do some screen grabs on the PC behind me. I'm gonna run you guys through exactly how to set this up, and we may call that donezo. So let's change angles. All right, so here we are in like my little networking corner, and again, we do have the GX90 right here ready to go. We do have the Archer C5400X here as well, and I am hoping right away that this is going to be as easy as just turning it off, unplugging the Ethernet, and removing this. Now, I've had this for a while. It's a little dirty. I didn't mask it very well when I painted, so you've got some paint on there. But I think this is like a really good opportunity just to take a couple of seconds, dance this around in my grip, to look at these both side by side. So aesthetically, like if it wasn't for this one being dirtier, I would be hard pressed to tell which one's which. And funny thing is as well, this one here, we have, like I mentioned before, the 8 network ports, but it also had the 2 USB Type 3 on there, where this one has just the 4 Ethernet ports, and it's really hard to juggle these guys. 4 Ethernet ports on the back right here, and then for USB, it has a 3.0 and a 2.0. I've never used either one of them. You could do like mass storage and stuff on them, but yeah, little bit of like a downgrade it looks, but I mean, I'm using this for Wi-Fi anyway. But this one's definitely a lot heavier. So I think maybe they just optimized the technology. Like, I think there's probably a pound to a pound and a half difference. Footprint on the bottom, you've got 4 sections to hang on this one here. This one has just got the 2. Overall, yeah, I think this one's a little bit smaller, which I'm not complaining because I did find that one rather big. So, I digress. Shoot, which Ethernet did I unplug? So I think that this one is going to go here in the WAN. They also changed the WAN and the LAN sides. So that one is, hold up. Okay, so LAN was first one. Let's just do this, I guess. Boom, boom, power. Sweet, okay. So I also didn't change the brick or the power supply. So thankfully it looks like the power supply from the 5400X is in fact working on this one here. So we are now going to change angles again because I am awkwardly slouching because I couldn't put the camera up any higher. Let's go to the computer side and let's actually take a look at what the user interface looks like for this modem and exactly how to set it up and get things running. I think we're on the home stretch, guys. Thanks for sticking with me. All right, so we're all connected and set up. We're in front of the PC. Hopefully you guys can see this as well. And we're going to open up Google Chrome and we're going to go to 192.168.0.1, which should be the IP for the TP-Link, which it appears it is. The only thing that I've done was I opened this up, it asked me to create a password, and then I closed the window. Because again, I want you guys to see exactly everything and kind of how to do it step by step. So we're gonna put in the local password here. If it wants to load. Okay, so it's trying, it's getting in there now. Already though, I can see that they've really optimized the look of this graphical interface compared to what I had experienced previously on the C5400X. More gaming oriented again. The motif is like kind of in your face a little bit, but in a good way. I don't hate it. So no internet connection. I think that means that we reverse the Ethernet. So I'm gonna very quickly go fix those and I'll be back in a second. All right, so we got that set up. We're fixed up. I made some boo-boos. We just had to change the cables around. So here is the network interface. This is the GUI or graphical user interface that TP-Link has chosen to go with. And overall, I think it looks really good so far. So you can see just a broad overview. I'm gonna have like some of this blurred out because it's my own personal info. But up top we have internet, we have the Archer GX90, we have whether or not there's any mesh clients currently connected, and then we have clients. So right now, because I have not configured anything, we just have my desktop set up here. And let's go into, that was network map. Let's go into Game Center. Now, Game Center right now, let's see. So you have network traffic, you have performance, you have USB port. So it's gonna give you a little bit of information about each device. We're gonna go ahead and we're going to prioritize my desktop. And we're just gonna prioritize as much as we can on that. Total bandwidth for QoS on always, because I always want to download as fast as possible, but the nice thing with QoS is my laptop or my desktop's not always on. So hopefully this won't route all the traffic even when the NIC has power removed from it. So we can go into the game accelerator here. We can turn that on. And here we can see it'll probably populate a list of games when they're running. So turn on game accelerator to reduce game latency and boost game speed. There we go. So accelerator, so now we see that right now, oh cool. So it'll tell you your gaming duration. That's pretty neat. Game protector, so that's your antivirus if by chance you want to run that, and your parental controls. You have built-in VPN support. You have port forwarding as well, and then there's also game diagnostics. So that's everything in Game Center. You have just general internet. So internet port, select a port for internet service, make sure the cable is securely connected. So my main modem is only like a gigabit out, so that's not a big deal. Dynamic IP is fine. MAC cloning we won't worry about. Wireless. So this is kind of cool. This has a lot more than I've seen in most routers. So what is this? OFDMA enables multiple users to transmit data simultaneously and thus greatly improves speed and efficiency. Noted that only when your client also supports it. So yeah, I mean, we'll turn that on. Here, target awake time allows 802.11ax routers and clients to negotiate their periods to transmit and receive data packets. Client only wake up if TWT sessions, no, that's fine. And Smart Connect, what do we got here? Smart Connect allows each of the router's wireless bands to use the same wireless settings. The router can balance network demands and assign devices to the optimum band. Normally, I would say I would do that, but the purpose of me using Wi-Fi 6 is I want to have specific things connected to their own frequency to optimize them. So I'm not going to enable that, but for you guys, you can choose whether or not you want to do that. The 2.4 gigahertz, let's go ahead and name this. I think I had it named Quasi 2.5 gigahertz. I'm going to black out these passwords so you can't see them. We're going to do the 5 gigahertz. That is going to be Quasi 5 gigahertz. And then this one, let's do Quasi 5 gigahertz 2, I think is how I had it labeled. We're going to very quickly go into my settings on my phone and double check that because my hopes are this will just hand everything over as per normal. So does iPhone not tell you what networks you were connected to? Janky. Okay, so we'll just figure that out later. That's not a big deal. We're going to change these passwords. And I don't ever bother doing guest networks myself. We're going to save these changes. That is all good. And in advanced, so we do have your status, your uptime, your IP, all of that good stuff. The internet, again, I think we looked at that before. You have IP release renew, NAT enabled, which is fine. LAN support, VLAN. So there's a lot of stuff going on in here, which is pretty cool. I'm going to put my login in here. Let's see if I can remember the password. Because the Tether app is something that I use quite frequently. So now I'm set as an admin, which is amazing. Wireless settings, so we already went through, okay, wow, so there's a lot more to these wireless advanced settings, which is awesome. So we have encryption type. So WPA2 is typically what I use, transmission power, channel. Wow, okay, so there's lots of really good stuff in here. You could choose to enable MU-MIMO, guest network, we don't worry about, WPS, we don't worry about, advanced settings, airtime fairness and everything, we'll leave that as is. USB, not worried about it. Port forwarding, so UPnP is already turned on, which is fantastic. Home care, I don't really care about, but let's look at the quality of service. So quality of service right now boosts online gaming speeds so you can play games on Xbox, PlayStation, and streaming platforms and more without lag, even if there's heavy network traffic. So we have standard, we have gaming, we have streaming, we have surfing, we have chatting. Let's go ahead and put that to gaming, because I find most of the time, even like when it comes to overclocks and stuff on PC, when you pick gaming profiles, it typically just boosts the hell out of whatever it is it's trying to do. So I think we'll leave it at that. Security, VPN, Wi-Fi 6, or I guess IPv6, sorry. Smart Life Assistant. So this has Alexa built in. That was similar on, I think, the mesh that I was testing, the X20, or yeah, the Deco X20, where you could actually tell Alexa to like WPS and people could connect to it. That's kind of cool. I don't use Alexa, so we're not going to worry about that. One Mesh, so this is the same thing if you have those supported partner apps. We don't need to use that. Nope, I don't want to restart this either, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's check for software updates that can run in the background. I guess it's already up to date. Backup and restore. Admin settings for local connectivity. LED control. I'm going to turn on night mode just because I hate having LEDs. Actually, you know what? Whatever. We're going to leave the status light on. Operation mode. Oh, so you can configure this as a access point too, which is pretty neat. So I think that's everything. Don't know what happened there. I guess we're going to pick time zone next. It's not taking me through this whole thing again, is it? Dynamic. Let's just auto detect. Yep. Next. Okay, so it saved most of these settings. So I guess maybe I hit like easy mode or something by an accident. I'm not sure. Again, these are unscripted. It's just me talking to you guys as I set this up for the first time. So far though, I think this is actually pretty cool. The interface is nice. It's smaller, it's lighter. Wi-Fi 6 is there, your QoS support is there. Everything so far seems to lead me to believe anyway that it's going to be a worthy successor to what was again my all-time favorite router that I used, and I've used a lot, like surprisingly enough. But this one stayed with me over anything else that I used just because I found it so reliable. And so, just so good, period. So hopefully, the GX90 fills its shoes. We're gonna turn on auto updates. You don't really care when it happens. Between 3 and 5 a.m. is fine with me. Cool, okay, so that is that. So now I'm back in the network map. Awesome, okay. So by using the same network name and password that I did on the previous one, it was a second ago, anyway, telling me that I had 10 devices connected. Am I connected on my phone? No, I am not, actually. So I'm going to have to reconfigure all my Wi-Fi networks, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Wi-Fi is not connected. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Thanks, computer. Thanks for letting me know. But we're going to do all that stuff later. I'm not going to stress out about it right now. Everything seems to be working. I'm just wondering if I can run a speed test and just see what kind of speeds this is running through. Already it's looking favorable. So I do have a gigabit connection. It's dancing, it's going up 544. I mean, this is like a little built-in pop-up test too, but I mean, I'm kind of more than fine with that. So we're gonna close that. So it's pushing everything through as it should. The internet's working as it should be. So I think that's it. So now I just get to test it. I get to hook things back up to it. I get to explore everything that it can do. But this was just probably not so quick. I say these are gonna be quick all the time, and like they totally never are. So thank you guys for sticking with me for all of my long rants and unscripted videos. I really, really appreciate it. But until the next video, guys, we're gonna be doing, again, some tests to see whether or not the Wi-Fi 6 performs any better on things like an iPhone 12 Pro, on a PS5. I've got this guy that, you know, I just keep on the floor. A laptop that was sent over from MSI, that's got Wi-Fi 6 in it as well. So we'll see whether or not anything changes for the better, for the worse, for range, for speed, all that coming up. If you guys want to leave some comments down below about things that you want tested, questions you might have. I will have purchase links as well within the video description if you guys are interested in this router for yourself. That's it for me. I'm gonna go play with this and have a snack because my Starbucks is all gone and now I have coffee belly and it's making me hungry. Until my next video, my name is Crazy Dog. You guys have been awesome and I'll catch you all in my next one. Take care.